subscribe, and ring the bell to never miss an update.
Hello everyone! Today on Lady Mary Bath, we are in the Dallas area, taking you along to High Street Antiques, located on Central Expressway in Plano. Lots to discover in this store with exquisite antiques, fabulous finds, and some hidden gems. Join me.
High Street is the largest antique mall in the Dallas area. It is a treasure trove and always a wonderful way to spend the day. They're open 7 days a week. I am in town working on the Dallas-Fort Worth Thrift Guide. Stay tuned for that. And save the date, November 14th through the 16th. I am hosting a retreat at the historic Bingham Estate in nearby McKinney, Texas. The Chocolate Angel Tea Room is nestled inside of High Street Antique Mall, a wonderful lunch spot. And if you join the retreat, you can also shop with me and enjoy lunch here at the Chocolate Angel Tea Room. I've had many wonderful lunches here with my Dallas family.
Welcome to High Street Antiques, a treasure trove with over 200 dealers specializing in antiques, decor, furniture, and collectibles. We would go all the way back to the late 1600s and modern day.
Let's have a look at this large flower frog that is in the form of the draped lady, made by the Cambridge Glass Company. It is highly collectible and practical if you do use it for your florals. We are shining a UV light on her, and surprise, she is made of uranium glass. Quite an unusual find. They have more Vaseline glass, and we will see other pieces in the shop today. And some Waterford crystal. Exquisite French antiques and a marble clock to elevate your living space. I'm eyeing a pair of chinoiserie urns. The clock is $1,795. They're all different price points at High Street, and you will not believe some of the deals that I find today. Can hardly wait to share these with you. They have something for every taste and style. More ginger jars in the polychrome. Absolutely love the chinoiserie elements here. A pair of Royal Vienna vases and plates that would make a nice accent for your gold and white dishes, made by Castleton with that mint green with gold accents. We are entering the world of Technicolor with a well-known glass company that has an interesting history. I encourage you to join us on Facebook with our Lady Mary Beth's Table group page. One of our members, Grant, was recently at the factory and shared photos. It was fascinating to see the glass blowing, and I sure appreciate that he shared with us.
A bestseller first produced in 1938 to fit into the narrow door of the new electric icebox. This was the first refrigerator jug and is continually produced today. A hand-blown glass manufacturer that got its start in 1893 in Milton, West Virginia, with an English glassmaker, William J. Blinko. He started out with stained glass, and during the Depression, he shifted to decorative items and tableware. In 1930, he changed the name from Eureka Art Glass Company to Blinko Glass, and they still produce today in a variety of colors, and this is another great example of their work.
Blinko also makes paperweights. The tangerine or green turtle would be a nice addition. You could place this on top of a stack of books on your coffee table. It has the acid etched back stamp, Blinko 2023, and well priced at $24. I know there are lots of folks that collect turtles. Light up your world with stained glass lamps or a chandelier. They have such a great selection here. See how it sparkles. The French figural clock is a unique find, priced at $1,299. And it's time for some grandfather clocks. They have quite a few here. This is French and it is hand carved from 1880. And it's actually a deeper discount. I will tell you more about that. And let's open it up. See the inner workings. And what a history.
Shopping sustainably and affordably at your local antique shop is not always about a gift and perhaps a decorative addition. It could also be a statement piece. This French oak grandfather clock is from 1880. You could bring some interesting history and keep time in your home, priced at $1,999.
I'm always amazed at these tall clocks and cabinets that would have required castles probably to fit these in. Lots of hand carving. The dealer gives us information on the tag with the history, which is certainly helpful when you're making a purchasing decision. This is from 1860 England, $4,999. The barley twist has my heart, my favorite furniture style element. You could anchor a room around this piece. And a pair of French nightstands. Miles and miles of clocks here. We're going to see lots more. These are rare, from 1850, known as skeleton clocks, where you can see the inner workings that are encased in glass. It predates the anniversary clock. This aisle is full of antique treasures with sideboards, cabinets, lamps, and more clocks. There's a German cuckoo clock. These are very familiar. We've seen these at the Titti International consignment store in St. Ingbert, Germany. We're headed over there, and I will definitely share my shopping experiences with you. And even porcelain clocks, priced at $1,399 from 1901. A sideboard is a great investment. It has great storage, a serving area. It's priced at $1,699. It is French. I'm loving all of the stained glass lamps. Can definitely add some interest and color to your space. Speaking of color, we all love the cut to clear. And that would be a nice addition to your holiday celebrations. These are bohemian. And these look to be from Gorham in the Lady Anne pattern. The cordials would be a nice addition, not just for after dinner drinks. You could also keep one in your guest bath for mouthwash. More cut to clear pieces. It's not only about the wine glasses, they also made many serving pieces. And I can't decide which I like best, the emerald, ruby, or cobalt. I'm thinking cobalt, since I'm partial to blue. This is priced at $195. And there's another cobalt cut to clear that I am certain is the Waterford Crystal Clarendon pattern. I did not find the acid etch stamp. It's on sale for $145, which is an excellent price if it's Waterford. And if you look at the base, we see those 16 cuts. I know it has to be Waterford Crystal. That's a great find.
A great selection of cut to clear, which is overlay glass dipped in colored molten glass and cut to revert to that crystal. This piece is made by Nachtmann in Germany. There are many Bohemian glassmakers that made this popular using traditional techniques and modern innovations. And with the use of lead crystal, it helps with the light refraction and creates a beautiful and vibrant pattern.
It's amazing how glass can be transformed, starting with a clear glass blank, dip it in color, cut it, and you've got this brilliant beauty. The Traube pattern from Nachtmann is one that you see often, not only in the glassware, but also in decanters and bowls. Made in Germany, we've seen some of these pieces at Gas Lamp Antiques in Nashville. One of my favorite affordable tabletop additions, milk glass. Many ways to enjoy this, and this is a pattern you probably recognize, and maybe you even grew up with this paneled grape. You could have an entire set. Dinner, luncheon, or tea for 8. This pattern is one that you probably don't see as often. It may remind you of quilting. And of course, the iconic pattern with the raised grapes. Some great choices today.
Milk glass is the little black dress of tabletop. You can dress it up or down. It goes with everything and makes a great gift. One of my favorite milk glass patterns is the paneled grape from Westmoreland. They did it best. This was a popular raised vine and grape pattern made from 1940 to 1984. And it was also copied by the Indiana Glass Company. They made a similar pattern in the 1970s and early 80s. Another pattern made in the same era of the paneled grape is the old quilt pattern from Westmoreland. You see that block and star design. Some wonderful selections of milk glass.
The harvest grape pattern from the Indiana Glass Company that was modeled after Westmoreland's paneled grape. Waterford crystal in this case, with one of my favorites, the Lismore Rose Bowl. And they have the Alana, Colleen, Lismore, Aragon, and Clarendon ruby flutes, along with some Yadro. Flow blue and barley twist, great combination here. An interesting history with the early, middle, and late Victorian periods. It is highly collectible. I've shared the history and some previous videos. Even a soup tureen lid could be interesting. Could even hang that on the wall. $165. We see some Japanese and chinoiserie influences in flow blue. And this small plate has a clear back stamp, and it is $45. Ironstone is a practical addition to your tabletop collection. It is a semi-vitreous pottery that was patented by Charles James Mason in 1813, known for its strength, and it is quite heavy and durable. These dishes are elegant and timeless. Gold and white is classic. These are Limoges, priced at $3.95 for 40 pieces from Bernardeau. I think that's a very fair price for this elegant pattern. Just love it. Now I will share some examples of a popular blue onion pattern and also tell you a bit about the history. And you will notice a familiar pattern that is Blue Danube, designed in 1951 and made in Japan for Lipper International, an importer and distributor of tableware. This is also a familiar pattern that you may see at your local antique consignment and thrift, priced at $55 from J&G Meakin in the Blue Nordic pattern. And there was also one that was famous from Enoch Wedgwood called Blue Heritage. And this one is an even different manufacturer called in England in the Meissen pattern. A perfect teapot in that classic blue and white.
This iconic pattern was first made by Meissen in 1730, called Zwiebelmuster. It was inspired by Chinese porcelain designs. They didn't have a copyright, and it was quickly copied by many different manufacturers. There are 5 represented here, including J&G Meeken with their blue Nordic pattern.
Barron's Estate Jewelers has some amazing items to share with us today. They were voted Best of Big D. They have a storefront in downtown McKinney, just up the road. Cameos are more popular than ever. I do find these at some of our favorite charity resale shops in the Houston area. And many can be worn as a pin or pendant. And you always want to look for that when you're out shopping. This one is 10 karat, and it's priced at $5.95. And this is a true antique. It is 14 karat, priced at $1,800. There's also a rather unusual cameo that is from Italy, made from the ashes of Mount Vesuvius. 14 karat, $1,350. And you probably will not find 2 of these out in the world. I always enjoy looking at the charm bracelets. It tells someone's story. If you're looking for an engagement ring, I highly recommend Estate Jewelry. It is sustainable, and you are also saving some money. And you can often find more unique settings. Victorian heart lockets, 14 karat gold. This is perfect for gifting for an anniversary, Valentine's. I like that larger one with the ruby. That's my birthstone. This is another unusual find that could be reimagined. These are match holders before they had matchbooks. And this one sort of reminds me of chinoiserie with the fish. At the bottom, we see a striker. That could be used for toothpicks. And I can also see this on a coffee table next to a candle. And you can pull out those matches and be stylish. You could add your monogram to this sterling silver matchbook. If you watch period dramas, you may recognize this piece. It is known as a chatelaine, reminiscent of the Victorian era, and you will see it is quite practical and purposeful. And oftentimes these represented people's professions with the items that they used. This one has 7 components, sterling silver.
A chatelaine was a functional and decorative Victorian accessory. It was worn at the waist with chains of varying lengths, holding small tools and household implements. It was popular in the 1850s to the early 1900s. You probably see these in period dramas with Mrs. Hughes at Downton Abbey carrying one with keys. And this one is a great example with many different additions, including a pen and even a notebook.
The upper class ladies had more decorative chatelaines for social events with perfume or glasses. This could have been a pill holder. And you could also interchange these. Here we have one that features animals. And that implement is a button hook. And think about the boots back then. They also had some need for an implement to help them put those on. Another unique find from the Victorian era. I can't wait to tell you about the history of this, which will surprise you. It's not something that we often hear about. And it certainly looks like the real deal, and this one requires lots of craftsmanship.
Victorian paste jewelry is glass that has been cut to resemble gemstones. It was left colorless for diamonds and pigment added for brilliant gemstones. It was popular with the nobility and royalty as they were traveling or hosting large gatherings. They didn't always want to wear their best jewels, and these were actually quite popular, and they're still highly collectible today. It was lead crystal that was pulverized and cast into molds to resemble fine jewelry.
High society is well represented at High Street with this unique chandelier.
Can you imagine getting ready for the day with this 1940s Venetian chandelier hanging in your dressing room? Behind me is an 1870s three-part French buffet in the Henri II style from 1870, and it is 10 feet tall.
It's almost like the gingerbread style when you see the carving and the additional architectural elements that they've added here. Priced at $5,995. A Majolica collection reminds me of our previous visit to Nothing Ordinary Antiques in Belleville, Texas. I shared lots of interesting history. Majolica was made by many different European manufacturers across many countries. This is a very affordable server. I wanted to share this with you. Priced at $1,295. It is barley twist, French, and great for storage. And this dealer is quite knowledgeable and has some amazing and exquisite antiques and collectibles, including Yadro and some of my favorite crystal, including American Brilliant. And this piece looks like it came from a castle. We will see that it also has handles, which is quite unusual. If you look carefully, you will see that perhaps they needed a way to easily move the furniture, or maybe it's a decorative element. Let's have a peek inside as well. $3,450.
This French walnut carved cabinet is a true antique in the Renaissance style, made in 1690. Features the hand carving, burled wood, and quite an interesting lock. Let's open up the door and take a peek inside.
This server is fabric lined with an antique lock. It's amazing to think about a piece like this that has been around for centuries, and it's made its way from Europe, across the ocean, and ended up in Dallas, Texas. This cabinet is made of a popular wood, and I'm learning from the dealer that trees were diseased and it became unusual to find something made of this particular wood. And I will tell you more about this piece and how it represents history.
A 19th century Brittany carved cabinet made of chestnut, which was favored for its durability and warm tones. And you will see in the carvings, this is a nod to their Celtic heritage and craftsmanship. It's also a form of storytelling, depicting the rural life, work, and celebrations of the locals.
It's not all about the antique furniture. There are also some great collections. The German beer steins are referred to as a Bierkrug in Germany. I've shared the history and some wonderful examples at the Trödelcenter in our home state of the Saarland. Waterford Crystal, Lismore, Powers Court, Sheila, and toasting flutes. The apple of my eye. A member of our Lady Mary Beth's Table Facebook group page, Alan Ramey, recently found 62 pieces in this pattern for $23.99. What a deal.
Franciscan apple was introduced in 1940, designed by Mary Jane Winhams. It was the first hand-painted earthenware with an embossed underglaze made by the Gladding McBean and Company, and their very first pattern that established them as a dinnerware company.
The ownership has changed over the years. It was later acquired by Interpace and then Waterford Wedgwood in the Johnson Brothers line. And we saw a huge shift in production from California, specifically in the Desert Rose pattern. It was later made in England in 1985 and then in China in 2003. These have the classic pink and green colors, my favorite for table settings and parties. My mother had the Desert Rose. It's a very special pattern.
Franciscan Desert Rose debuted 1 year later in 1941, designed by Annette Honeywell, a contract designer for Gladding McBean and Company. It was inspired by the Rosa rugosa flower with a California rustic aesthetic. It was later made overseas, and you definitely want to shop for the vintage pieces.
We are entering the world of Pyrex. Reese's Pieces has some great vintage collections, including complete sets of the princess-style Pyrex mixing bowls in the gooseberry and also the classic blue butter print. I've shared some interesting history in this booth in a previous visit. It's quite interesting to learn about the materials used and how you can date them. More Vaseline glass. I have this picture and did not realize that it's uranium glass. And you'll see it is under a UV light. And these items sell quickly. It's becoming quite popular. And that covered candy jar is spectacular.
Uranium glass is more popular than ever, especially with the younger generations. Uranium was discovered in 1789 by German scientist Martin Heinrich Klaproth, and by the 1830s, it was used as a glass colorant. It is made by adding uranium oxide to molten glass, and it has the green or yellow glow under UV light.
It's time for hidden gems. This small Waterford carriage clock is $35.80 with an extra battery. This sold for $98 in 1995. I can hardly believe my eyes. There's beautiful crystal here. Yes, that is a Gorham crystal bowl made in Germany. This one stands out. A familiar pattern, well priced at $22.95. And this takes me back to my days with Waterford crystal. And I will tell you more about the pattern name.
A hidden gem with this Waterford crystal 8-inch Colleen bowl. This was introduced by Waterford in 1994. I remember it well. It was made in 6, 8, and 10-inch bowls. The price of $22.95 is unbelievable. There are many ways you could use this bowl, I've shared on the channel, and also as a cheese dome. This is quite an amazing find today.
It was my mother's idea when I worked for Waterford that Colleen bowl would work well as a cheese dome. The symbol of hospitality and also my logo, the pineapple, is classic. And this one is definitely going home with me today.
I adore pineapples. This dish definitely has a mid-century vibe. It was made by the Indiana Glass Company using their archive molds for Tierra Exclusives, which is a home party-based business that was owned by Lancaster Colony. This is an affordable price of $27, and I have some great ideas to utilize this.
Follow Hunter Christopher on Instagram. He's got some amazing finds, including these mid-century brass bookends that are also pineapples, priced at $35. These swizzle sticks remind me of my friends at Baker's Barware in Houston, well priced at $2. That is party perfect. You never know what you will find. Yes, there are some beautiful rugs, but I have my eyes on this cobalt pitcher.
Cambridge is known for their high-quality, elegant glass. They launched the ball pitcher in the 1930s. It was made in this cobalt, also emerald, amber, and ruby. You'll notice it has the ice lip feature, which is great for serving so the ice stays in the pitcher, doesn't fall awkwardly in the glass. This is well priced at $40 and an additional 20% off. You never know what you will find here. A true beauty and hidden gem.
One of my favorite finds of the day, and great for gifting. You could tie on some festive ribbons and place a card sharing the history of the Cambridge Ball pitcher. This rug seller also offers services of washing and repairing. Here he's hard at work, making a customer's rug whole again. If you're in the Dallas area, that's definitely a good contact to have. And when you're looking for a Persian rug for your space, you'll want to go big. When you maximize that area, it makes your space look larger. And if you add a small rug that is off size, it's a bit awkward and does make your space a bit smaller. A Party Perfect punch set from Tierra Glass. This is a familiar pattern known as sandwich glass based on a historic pattern. The Chantilly green was made from 1982 to 1981. It is rather affordable at $95. A set of 4 Waterford Crystal Lismore Irish coffee mugs. These are retired, even though Lismore is a current pattern, these haven't been made in years. And they are very well priced at $30 each. And of course, you could drink tea out of these as well. I like to look at needlepoint, especially when it is blue and white chinoiserie. And this pillow could be used in a bedroom, living room, entryway. Love it. Milk glass is always a nice addition to your table setting. This fan vase is well priced at $19. Take it to your local florist, and you can have a great gift to present. Could even be the centerpiece at your luncheon in a restaurant, and then that is the gift for your friend. Seashells make an easy and affordable centerpiece. An eclectic table with a trio of patterns, starting with the chinoiserie-inspired pink willow, made in England, priced at $11. And this bamboo rattan edge plate, $9. And this Mikasa trellis dinner plate is $6. They do have a set of 4, perfect for brunch, lunch, or any time of the day. A local artist is always a great idea. And in full bloom, it's even better. These hydrangeas are dreamy, priced at $5.95. And that's a way to anchor your space. And as you can see, easy to add a pop of color with her artwork. She also makes jewelry. And I am eyeing her porcelain collection. From Heron, the Rothschild bird pattern was officially named in 1861. And of course, it was named after the Rothschild family. They were significant patrons of Heron in the 1850s and ordered a collection featuring the bird pattern. And you could certainly add one of the teacups to your collection. Some Victorian vanity items with the brushes and perfume bottles. We've seen some of these at the Carmine Dance Hall. And stay tuned, the Round Top Show is coming up in October. Lots of great finds here at High Street. I'm always learning and appreciating these beautiful finds.
So glad you joined me today for High Street Antiques in the Dallas area. Lots to discover in this store, including some hidden gems. I'm taking home this Waterford Crystal Colleen bowl. Thanks again for joining Lady Mary Bath. Elevate your everyday with antique shopping.